The idea behind a New Year's resolution is that it's the beginning of a new year, so that represents a new start, a fresh start. Hi, I wanted to talk to you today about the topic of New Year's resolutions. Perhaps you've heard of New Year's resolutions, maybe not. But the idea is at the new year, the old year is gone and we're facing a brand new year. It represents an opportunity for a fresh start. We can, as in English we say, we can turn over a new leaf, or we can hit the reset button, if you will. So a New Year's resolution takes that concept and says, okay, let me look at the previous year, the year that we've just gone through, and let me think about things that I want to change. Perhaps you did something that you regret doing, or maybe you didn't do something that you wish you had done. With a New Year's resolution, you look at the things that you did and say, okay, this needs to change, I want to change this, and you make your resolutions accordingly. So there are different areas in which people make New Year's resolutions. One area might be in terms of finance. Perhaps you have some debt and you want to eliminate the debt, so you could make that your New Year's resolution. Or perhaps you wish that you had saved more, so maybe you make as your New Year's resolution, I want to save more this year, or I want to invest. Another area in which people make New Year's resolutions is with regards to their job or their career. Perhaps they feel stuck in a dead-end job, and maybe they want to change jobs or change companies or change careers. Or maybe you're happy where you are, but you want something more of a challenge. You want to move up the corporate ladder, so to speak. So these are examples of New Year's resolutions with regards to the job. Another common area for New Year's resolutions is with regards to health and fitness. That's why if you watch TV commercials at this time of year, there are lots of advertisements for weight loss programs and gym memberships, because people often feel the need to lose weight for the new year, or they feel the need to exercise more. So that's kind of understandable. So people make resolutions. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to eat real food. I'm going to eliminate processed food. I'm going to eliminate junk food and soda and coffee and whatever else that's bad for you. So people make that resolution. They make the resolution to maybe walk every day, walk a mile or two every day, or run. Perhaps they want to make this year the year that they finally run a 10K race. All these are examples of resolutions with regards to health and fitness. Another common area for resolutions is with regards to personal growth, self-improvement. So some people might say, well, I want to take a class. We said somebody might want a resolution regarding their job. Perhaps they might say, well, if I want to advance in my career, I need to have this class or that class. Maybe I need to take an accounting class. Maybe I need to take some sort of computer class so I can get a better job. So that kind of thing. Or perhaps you want to learn a new hobby. Perhaps you say, oh, I've always wanted to play the piano. So you might make music lessons as your New Year's resolution. Or perhaps you always wanted to learn how to paint. So you might take a painting class at a local college. Another very common area is with regards to learning language. Here in America, a lot of people feel the need to learn Spanish, for example, as a second language. So they might make their New Year's resolution to learn Spanish. If you're watching this channel, I'm assuming that you are interested in learning English. So perhaps you might want to make a New Year's resolution regarding English. I want to learn English. I want to improve English, something like that. Now, if you're setting a New Year's resolution, I think you will find it helpful if you have a systematic approach or a method for working on that New Year's resolution. So a very common method of goal setting is called setting a SMART goal. Now, we all know what SMART means. SMART means you're kind of clever and not opposite of dumb, right? You're not dumb. Well, that's true, but in this case, SMART is actually an acronym. An acronym is a word that you get when you take the first letter of some individual words. So in other words, with a SMART goal, each of the letters S, M, A, R, T stands for a specific word to help you in framing your goals for your New Year's resolution. So let's use learning English as an example. So if you want to set a SMART goal, the first thing, S, that you want is you want your goal to be specific. The S stands for specific. So what do we mean by having a specific goal? Well, if you think about it, learning English is a very broad idea. It's too broad, actually, and so you want to narrow it down. You want to focus and concentrate on something. So instead of saying, well, I want to learn English, you narrow it down and you say, well, I want to improve my English. So that's better. Now, actually, we can narrow that even further, because improve English, there's a lot of different ways that you could go with that. You could say, well, I want to improve my English by speaking better English with native speakers, or I just want to feel more comfortable in speaking English. So that's more narrow, that's a more specific goal. Or you could say, well, I want to improve my English by learning new English vocabulary words. So all these are more specific. The S in SMART stands for specific. You want your goal to be specific. The M in SMART stands for measurable. You want your goal to be measurable. So if we use the example of learning new English words, we would want to make that a measurable goal by saying, I want to learn, for example, 3,000 English words. Now we've taken it and we've made it kind of even more specific by saying 3,000. The idea is that now we can track our progress. We can see how far we've come. At first I didn't know all these words. Now I've learned 500 new words. I've learned 1,000 new words. And so you can eventually say, I've learned 3,000 new words. You can see how far you've gone. So we've seen that a goal should be specific, a goal should be measurable. Now the A in SMART stands for achievable or attainable. So what does that mean? That means your goal should be something that you can actually do. It's not impossible, it's not outrageously difficult, but it's something that's manageable. So if we had said something like, oh, I want to learn 30,000 English words, or I want to learn 300,000 English words, well, that wouldn't be attainable. That's just too much to do, or at least in any reasonable amount of time. But 3,000 words is very realistic. It's attainable. It's something that would work. It's something that you feel that you can accomplish. It might take a little work, but you know you can do it. So we've seen a goal should be specific, a goal should be measurable, a goal should be attainable or achievable. Now R. The R stands for relevant. So in other words, it should relate to your life somehow. It should be something that you want to do, so you have the motivation. If it's not relevant to your life, you really wouldn't care one way or the other. But it should be relevant. It should be something that will help you or benefit you, or it's something that you want to do. And again, since you're watching this channel, I'm assuming that learning English is a relevant goal to you, and learning vocabulary words would be an example of that. So a goal should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable or attainable, it should be relevant, and then the last letter, the T, that stands for time-bound. So in other words, your goal should have some sort of time limit. You don't want to drag it out forever and ever, because then you feel like you never get anywhere. It just goes on too long, you get tired of it. But if you say, I want to achieve this goal within this time frame, then that's good. That kind of also provides motivation to get it done. So with this example of learning English vocabulary, you could say, okay, I want to learn 3,000 new English words over the course of the next year. And if you think about it, 1 year is 365 days. If you learn just 10 words a day, that seems quite reasonable, right? 10 words, not that hard at all. But if you learn 10 words a day, after 1 year, you would learn over 3,000 words, 3,650 words. So it's very reasonable, and it's not too much of a challenge. If you wanted to make it a little more of a challenge, you could even say, well, how about 15 words a day? Again, that doesn't sound like that much. Sounds like pretty easy to do. And if you did that, 15 words a day over 365 days, that's over 5,000 new English words that you could learn in a year. 5,475. So when you think about it that way, even though it's just relatively minor step, 10 words a day, 15 words a day, you can still improve your vocabulary quite a bit. So I hope this has been helpful for you in discussing New Year's resolutions, and maybe giving you some ideas on how you can use New Year's resolutions in your quest for learning English. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share with your friends who might also be on their own journey of learning English. And if you are making New Year's resolutions, share it in the comments below. I can take a look at those comments, and then I can use that to come up with more ideas to help you in learning English this year. So let's make this year a great year. I'll see you around.